Hello everyone and welcome to your Advective weather update for April 19th, 2023. Let's jump right into it. We have a lot to talk about. We'll start with the weather setup here. We have severe thunderstorms expected today, stretching all the way from Oklahoma near Oklahoma City, stretching northward into northern Kansas and all the way into Des Moines, Iowa. We also have winter weather conditions expected there across the northern plains, including Minnesota and North Dakota, with critical fire weather conditions in New Mexico, Texas, stretching into Colorado as well. Tomorrow we have more critical fire weather conditions in New Mexico, heavy snow expected in North Dakota and Minnesota, coupled with severe weather and flash flooding risks in the south central United States, stretching all the way from the Dallas-Fort Worth area to the Missouri Boot Heel. Then finally, as we head into Friday, you'll notice there a small region of a severe weather risk heading off the Gulf Coast with a risk of flash flooding, including Shreveport, New Orleans, stretching all the way up to around the Memphis metro. Heavy snow remaining there as you head farther north into Minnesota as well. With the severe storms we have today, tomorrow, and Friday to worry about, as I said, with an enhanced risk of severe storms today, primary threats being strong winds and large hail, although a strong tornado or two can't be ruled out. We'll talk more about that soon. Tomorrow, there's a slight risk for severe thunderstorms with damaging winds and large hail being the main threats. And then on Friday, we're going to have a slight risk of severe storms as these storms are going to be remaining from Thursday, still producing strong winds and large hail. Moving on to the official forecast for today, there's high confidence in a line of storms forming on the northern side of our risk region, stretching all the way from central Kansas up north. These storms will likely start off as supercells capable of giant hail, strong winds, and tornadoes, and will evolve into a line of storms capable of large hail and very strong winds. As we head south, there's a less certain risk there in that southern tongue stretching into Oklahoma and Texas, but if storms do fire, strong winds, large hail, and tornadoes will be possible, with the possibility of a strong tornado or two as well there. Let's talk about that hail outlook in more detail. You can see our enhanced risk for hail there as we get into the quad state region there of Iowa, Nebraska, Kansas, Missouri, with very large hail delineated there in that hatched region, that black hatched region, that level 2 out of 5 in the yellow, level 1 out of 5 there in the brown, that marginal risk. But very large hail, 2 inches in diameter or greater is possible. Some giant hail up to 3 inches or so in diameter, also a possibility today. As we head into the wind risk, this is with that line of storms there in that level 2 and 3, the yellow and red. That's where that line of storms is expected to traverse, with the hatched region being where we could see hurricane force or higher wind gusts as a possibility. Finally, as we get into the tornado threat, there are two areas of focus, both level 2 out of 5s there in the quad state region, and then the south there to the west of the Oklahoma City metro, crossing the Red River, heading towards Wichita Falls there in the state of Texas. As we head into weather models, here's what we're going to be looking at, and you'll notice there the model on the side, but I'm just going to time this out for you. Supercells will likely fire tonight around 7 p.m. in the northern mode. These storms will merge into a line by 9 p.m. and move across the enhanced risk region. The biggest threat for severe storms will end by midnight, with severe storms still being ongoing after that time, and there is uncertainty regarding the southern tongue of the risk as we said before, but severe storms are possible from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. That's our threat window. Ensure that you remain weather aware today, as these storms will develop quickly and conditions could rapidly change in your area. Talking about tomorrow, we have severe storms possible in the south central U.S. That slight risk stretching all the way there from around Austin, Texas, all the way up to around the St. Louis metro. The main threats will be strong winds and large hail, although an isolated tornado or two can't be ruled out. On the southern end of the risk, very large hail is possible as well, that being over 2 inches in diameter. Speaking of the hail risk, there it is, and again, you can see stretching from Dallas-Fort Worth to around Waco, Austin, Texas. We do see that hatched region where very large hail, 2 inches in diameter or larger, is possible, with that narrow corridor of large hail being a possibility stretching all the way from St. Louis down to Austin, and that marginal risk stretching all the way from north of the Chicago metro near Madison, Wisconsin, all the way to around Del Rio and the United States-Mexico border. Getting into the wind threat, this pretty much mirrors our slight risk, stretching all the way from around Austin to the St. Louis area, with our marginal risk again from around Madison up there in Chicago down to the Mexico-United States border. Finally, here, as we take a look at the tornado threat, we have two split regions. The first one there, including places like Texarkana, heading towards but not quite at Fayetteville, Arkansas, stretching all the way down to around Austin, and then our other marginal risk there, stretching from St. Louis through Springfield and Peoria, Illinois, stretching into the Chicago metro as well. Let's talk about weather models for tomorrow. This is what we're expecting. Storms will likely fire around 1 to 3 p.m. on the western edge of the severe weather risk, posing threats for strong winds and large hail. The threat for severe thunderstorms will peak around 6 p.m. to 1 a.m., rapidly evolving into a more wind-driven threat, and severe thunderstorms will likely continue to move southeastward, still ongoing as we head into Friday morning as well. Speaking of Friday morning, here it is. Thunderstorms will be ongoing at the beginning of the forecast period on the western side of the marginal risk, stretching all the way from Memphis to San Antonio. Thunderstorms will move through the risk region and likely exit by around 6 to 7 p.m., moving out of places like Jackson, Mississippi, and New Orleans, Louisiana. The most likely hazards with this will be strong winds and isolated large hail. Let's talk about what you can do in thunderstorms. Thunderstorms can escalate rather quickly as clear skies can quickly turn dark and ominous. Make sure to have multiple ways to get weather warnings. When alerted, get inside a sturdy building and stay away from windows once indoors. If a building isn't nearby, it's important to get inside a vehicle. If you're in a tornado warning, though, that's not the case. You don't want to be in a mobile home or a vehicle, nor underneath a highway or an overpass. Large gymnasiums and manufactured housing aren't good either. The best options are the lowest structure of a sturdy building in an interior room. That could be a home or some sort of well-constructed building. Basements preferable there, and maybe even a designated tornado shelter. Let's talk about what you can do here when it comes to watches and warnings. If you're in a thunderstorm watch or tornado watch, that means that conditions are favorable for severe thunderstorms and tornadoes. That means to remain weather aware. If you're in a warning for severe thunderstorms or tornadoes, that means that a severe thunderstorm or tornado is either already occurring or is likely to occur. That's when you need to take action and take shelter quickly. Let's talk about the flash flooding risk now. We have that risk today, tomorrow, and Friday. There are slight risks on all 3 days. Slight risk for excessive rainfalls in the upper Midwest today there around the 4 states region. Then as we get into tomorrow, that slight risk is for the south central United States, including the Dallas-Fort Worth area, Texarkana, Little Rock, stretching into the Missouri boot heel. And then finally, excessive rainfall remains a threat for Friday in the south central United States, including Shreveport and New Orleans and Louisiana, Jackson, Mississippi, and Memphis, Tennessee. Let's talk about flash flooding. It can also escalate quickly. Make sure, again, you have multiple ways to get weather alerts. When alerted to a flash flood, get to higher ground and never enter flood waters in a vehicle or on foot. That can be extremely dangerous. Let's talk about fire weather risks now. Critical risks today and tomorrow over the southwestern plains and over northern New Mexico. If in these fire weather conditions, be sure not to burn anything, throw away cigarettes, or do anything else which may cause fires. This can include things like going outside and grilling, stuff of that nature, as again, critical fire weather conditions are in place there. Let's talk about what you can do. You want to stay informed before a wildfire. Receiving timely information is going to be critical in these situations. Monitor weather reports provided by local media. Make sure that you sign up for local emergency notifications, and always have extra batteries for battery-operated radios and your cell phone. A weather radio from NOAA can be a great solution. Finally, let's talk about the winter storm. It's going to be moving in there. Major risk there in Montana, stretching into North Dakota. This is primarily going to be due to high snow accumulations, although high impacts are also possible in more mountainous regions of Montana. Expect over a foot of snow in isolated locations, with blizzard conditions being possible as well. Stay tuned to your local National Weather Service for future winter weather updates. If you're caught outside in a winter storm, make sure to find shelter. That's going to be a sturdy building of some sort with air conditioning. While you're getting there, cover up exposed body parts, melt snow for drinking water, and be sure to keep yourself moving, as again, this will all prevent yourself from losing too much heat, suffering from frostbite or hypothermia. Well, with that being said, thank you so much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, you can hit the like button. If you really liked it, you can hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications for more content like this. And you can also join our Discord server to talk with me and the rest of the Advective weather team about current happenings in the United States with weather. Again, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully we won't have to make another video on this, but we will be live later today if we need to be. And hopefully the severe weather risk will be low enough. Again, we don't need another video, but if we do, we will be right here at this time tomorrow with another video on the severe weather threat. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you in the next one.